The Bible actually lists out some of the most common money habits that are keeping you poor, that were keeping me poor. Many of us have been following a blueprint of generational poverty. We watched generations before us do these things, and we are currently doing these things. God took me from lack into financial abundance. He's given me a multi-six-figure business with my partner, over 6 figures invested in the stock market, a property abroad. I mean, so much more. I'm breaking away from poverty by recognizing these habits, and you will too. So let's get into it. Money habit number 1. Many of us just have one source of income, one way in which we provide for ourselves and a family. But in Ecclesiastes 11:2, it talks about invest in 7 ventures, yes, in 8, for you do not know what disaster may come upon the land. It literally talks about diversifying all of your investments and your income streams. When you have one source of income, it's like having just one source of a financial stability pillar. And if a disaster comes upon your land, like you lose your job or you get sick and it gets knocked out, how do you protect yourself? You have been brainwashed to think that this was okay and just having a job is okay. But when you look at the Bible and you look at all of the people who are living financial prosperity, not one of them, literally, not one of them are financially stable because they just have one source of income. The Proverbs 31 woman had only 3 different ventures that helped her take care of herself and her family. King Solomon had so many ventures that we can't even count, and he was the richest man in the Bible. Abraham was rich in livestock, silver, and gold. He was rich in assets that produced assets. I can't find any example of anyone in the Bible that just had one source of income that was financially free and financially stable. Then that's a biblical principle in itself that we should follow Ecclesiastes 11:2. Money habit number 2 is saving all of your money instead of investing your money. And we can see this in the parable of the talents in Matthew 25:14-30, where it talks about a master having 3 servants. 2 of them he gives talents to, which was a monetary value, and they actually went out and traded their talents for a profit. And he calls them good servants and gives them more because of that. And then it talks about that one servant that he gave a talent that was too scared to do anything with it. So he dug it in the ground. And when the master came back, it was actually worth less. So it's the same as you just saving all of your money in the bank right now. Inflation is eating it up. If you saved £1,000 in 2014, right now in 2024, that probably would be worth almost 50% less. Versus if you took that £1,000 and you invested it in a vehicle like the S&P 500, it would be worth almost £2,000. On the journey to building wealth and becoming financially free, investing your money to turn it for a profit is a standard, not an option. When I started investing, I realized that my asset could literally pay for my lifestyle. Most of our parents have never invested. Imagine if they had invested their money and they taught you these principles, how much different your life would be. Money habit number 3 has become so normalized that it's actually scary. Accumulating bad debt. Proverbs 22:7, the rich rule over the poor and the borrower is a slave of the lender. How many of us are a slave to bad debt in the form of car loans, a wedding that we took out a loan for, a holiday, credit card debts? How many of us are doing buy now, pay later for a wig or even for takeout? The Bible talks about when you do this, you are a slave to those providers. Many of us right now are in a situation where we'd love to start investing. We'd love to start a business, but most of our money is going towards paying off debt. I've been there, and it's a shackle that's going to keep you in the poverty cycle. Money habit number 4 is lack of paying yourself first and having an emergency fund. And in Proverbs 21:20, it says, the wise store up choice food and olive oil, and fools gulp theirs down. It highlights that a percentage of what comes in should be set aside for an emergency to save, to invest, and to bless future you. But if you are a fool, you're not financially astute, you spend everything that comes in. One of my favorite budgeting rules is the 50-30-20 rule, which 20% of your income should be put aside for saving, investing, and clearing off debt. Store up some choice food and olive oil in the form of emergency fund. Money habit number 5 is not leaving an inheritance for your kids and your kids' kids. And why this is so bad is that it perpetuates this generational cycle of poverty. In Proverbs 13:22, it says, a good man leaves an inheritance for his children's children, but the wealth of the sinner is stored up for the righteous. So how are you building wealth for your kids? Are you investing for your kids in the form of a junior ISA or custodial Roth IRA? Are you bringing them on board in your business so they understand how to actually build wealth? Or are you just letting them follow your cycle? Think of how different your life would be if your parents followed that biblical principle. Think of how better off you would be right now. Do it for your kids. Money habit number 6, which most of us will do at some point in our life, essentially overconsumption, trying to keep up with the Joneses and increasing our lifestyle as our income increases. Proverbs 21:17 says, whoever loves pleasure will become poor. Whoever loves olive oil and wine will never be rich. We fall into this lifestyle as we increase our earning potential, that we increase the cost of actually being us. So that means we get a pay rise and we get a brand new car. We get a new apartment upgrade. We start shopping at Louis Vuitton and Gucci instead of the previous other brands that we were shopping at. And we become indulged in this life of excessiveness and overconsumption. And that's why you see that many people who are earning 6 figures are still living paycheck to paycheck. If you want to be financially stable, stop falling victim to lifestyle creep, and comment Bible down below and I'll send you a link to some of the best Bible verses for your financial freedom. Literally, there's over 30 of them.